Hello everyone, and welcome to another Starcraft 2 match. This one's gonna be between the one and the only IdrA spawning as a blue Zerg, and his opponent's gonna be Huck spawning as a red Protoss. The map's gonna be Zonaga Caverns, and I don't even know what's gonna happen here, because these two players are amazing at Starcraft 2. Huck used to be the top 200 players, #1, now he's at number 7, somebody else is #1, I can't remember who. And IdrA, everybody loves IdrA. You can't really say you don't love IdrA, you know that. Don't be hating on him all the time. He's a really polite StarCraft 2 player, and Huck is a straight up baller. Gonna be building a pylon next to his ramp, and he's gonna go start scouting with his probe, because it's really important to scout in this game. Like early nowadays, it's really important to scout early. Before it was like after the gateway or after the barracks or after the spawning pool, but now everybody seems to be scouting after the pylon or the supply depot. So everybody knows IdrA. And everybody knows Huck, so there's really not much to tell about these two players. Except they're really good at StarCraft 2. That's all I know. And this guy's going to be stealing 5 minerals from here. I guess he doesn't want IdrA to have these 5 poor minerals, and he's going to be doing something. I don't know what he's doing. He just keeps setting the rally points. Kind of weird, but he knows that the IdrA is going to be playing as a Zerg, and he actually is going to be getting a spawning pool before the hatchery like IdrA likes to do. Usually he goes the other way around, and this bro is going to be just patrolling over here in case of any hatcheries going in, and this overlord is going to be just probably following this one. And Huck is going to be getting a gateway right here, trying to wall off this ramp a little bit, because it's really important to you against this Zerg player, because the speedlings might get into your base, and IdrA might gonna try to go for the expansion, but no, this bro's gonna try to be dancing over here. Huck's gonna try to make him dance as much as he can, and he's gonna be building a pylon, trying to prevent IdrA from building an expansion over here, and it's gonna take forever before the spawning pool even finished, before the Zerglings come in to take down this pylon. So this drone really needs to start chopping up this thing pretty fast if he wants to expand, because IdrA has like 300 minerals saved up right now for a hatchery, and he can't really expand right now. And Huck actually canceling the pylon, and IdrA spent minerals on something. That's why I think Huck knew that he doesn't have enough minerals for the expansion, because he's getting a queen and 2 Zerglings, and this bro is gonna keep dancing over here as much as he can, trying to prevent hatchery. But the hatchery is finally going down from IdrA. And Huck's going to be getting cybernetic core, and probably going to be getting a pylon over here, trying to prevent the speedlings from entering, and probably going to put the zealot somewhere in the middle to stop those guys from entering. And the drone actually makes it into the Huck's mineral line, trying to scout a little bit, look what's up with Huck's bases, like, what's up man, what are you doing? I'm just going to be going my own business, coming back. And Huck is actually going to be dropping a second gateway. He's going to go for 2-gate build or something like that. Usually Huck goes for like 4-gate robotics or 2-gate robotics, or there is really plenty tactics from Protoss player to go with. And IdrA's spawning pool is finished, no metabolic boost being researched right now. He's just gonna try to secure this hatchery, and this probe is still alive, dude. This guy is giving so much scouting information to Huck, but it's probably gonna go down to this queen, and yes, that little body went down when those 5 minerals been wasted. So he knows that IdrA has 5 mineral less than he should be having, haha. And this zealot's going to be in here trying to stop the Zerglings from entering the base, and he really needs a second one, because, or put just a stalker in here, because these Zerglings are going to be trying to get on the way, going behind the rocks, probably looking for any proxy pylons from Huck. And IdrA should be researching the warp gate technology, and he is. And he's getting 2 more stalkers on the way, and he actually is going to be pushing out with a stalker and a zealot, because he knows that IdrA got an expansion instead of getting getting more Zerglings or units, so he invested more money towards the expansion. So Huck kinda knows that he doesn't have that many units, and the spine crawler is on the way, but the stalker is on the field, and he's probably gonna be focusing down on his queen, and this zealot really needs to get in there and trying to harass this queen as much as he can. But the spine crawler is kinda almost finishing right there, halfway there, and he really needs to focus in down on this queen to bring the queen down, do as much damage as they can towards the queen, because if IdrA loses the queen, it's kind of not a big loss, but still you get lose to some minerals. And the zealot is down, but the stalker is gonna try to get out of here, and he's probably will, because he's gonna try to harass these Zerglings. Really, I would not be pushing my luck, because when the speedlings are finished, that stalker is gonna be in a dip shit pretty much. And another pylon's going down, and another pylon's going down, and where this probe's gonna be going? He might be getting an expansion, because he seems to have enough minerals for an expansion over here. And we have a roach worm coming in from, going down actually, from IdrA, and IdrA getting his second refinery extractor. And usually IdrA goes for the Muta Zergling build, but now he's going for the roaches, since the patch roaches has range of 4 now, and they're way more effective than you think they are range of 4 instead of range of 3, you can probably snipe buildings like from cannons or something like that away. And these stalkers are doing a lot of damage in IdrA's expansion, and I apologize that my computer's lagging. And look at this. If this hatchery is going to go down to these stalkers, this is going to be a terrible loss for IdrA, because you cannot afford losing this hatchery, and the speedlings are getting into trying to surround the stalker as much as they can, but Hawk should be in a good position right now because there is enough stalkers to deal with those. But there is more speedlings coming in from IdrA, and IdrA is going to try to surround the stalkers, but the stalkers are in a perfect position. One of the stalker is going down, and a second one too, and this poor little guy is going to be going down too. So IdrA kind of, Hawk kind of did sort of economic damage towards IdrA because he kind of stopped the expansion mining for a little bit, but instead he's going to be pushing out with lots of speedlings, and 3 roaches is going to be reinforcing their army, and Hawk really needs to start getting some more units to defend against this because he has a bunch of sentries but no really army to deal with those zerglings, because the sentries are effective, and there's going to be more sentries coming in from Hawk. Hawk needs to start getting like robotics facility, kind of getting immortals to deal with those roaches, because it's going to be really hard to deal with the roaches when you have like a lot of roaches to deal with. And this hatchery is going to be trying to heal herself. The roaches are finished, and we're going to have the speed for the roaches being researched right now from Demaga. And there's 4 roaches coming in from here. They're going to be focusing down on the forge, and these sentries need to go back. Force fields going down everywhere, trying to prevent those zerglings from getting onto the... And since the patch, lots of buildings got health increased. Like Nexus got like up to 1,000 health and something else, but most of it, the Zerg got really big buff. The roaches buff, the buildings buff. Hatchery has now 1,500 health instead of 1,250. And yeah, I guess Blizzard's trying to balance the game as much as they can, especially like they nerfed down the Terran. Like everybody been complaining about the Terran being overpowered. Now they nerfed it down, I think, too much, because now you need a supply depot to build the freaking barracks. You can't really go for any early Reaper harassment like in the beginning, and IdrA's going to be breaking the rocks over here. For probably gonna try to get this, gonna try to secure this expansion from Hawk, and Overlords are everywhere, and IdrA still did not scout at Hawk's base after the drone been in there, and robotics going down over here, and a simulator, and another pylon. So look at this, the only way he can get into the Hawk's main base right now by dropping units over here or going all the way around from here, and there's another pylon going down, but there is a really little space over here. So I think Hawk practiced this a lot because it's really tough to figure this out, how to get into it. And he's warping in some more stalkers, and I think he's going to be pushing out with the whole army he has right now, because that's a lot of sentries. You know that, right? Sentries, zealots, and stalkers. Pretty good combination right now to deal with the roaches, and the zerglings. But still, there's a lot of roaches from IdrA, and look, range of 4. These guys are going to be way more effective than they used to be. And the sentries and the roaches, look at the roach speed. Roaches are so fast. Look at these roaches, going to be focusing down on the stalkers, on the sentries and everything. Force fields going down behind the roaches, but still, roaches are getting surrounded in here, and Hawk doing a great job by using force fields. Look at this, he's separating roaches as much as he can, and great micro by Hawk. Doing pretty much focusing down on all the roaches right now, and roaches are going down, man. I'm surprised. Why? Because the roaches do a lot of damage, but the sentries and the stalkers is doing great job. Hawk is being straight up baller right now, using the force fields as much as he can, but he really needs to drop because he's gonna lose all of these units towards these roaches, and Hawk's gonna try to run away with these, but there is more reinforcement coming in from Hawk, but he needs to drop back to his base. There is way too many roaches to deal with, and Immortal is gonna be on the field. He needs to chrono boost his units as much as he can, because Immortal do a lot of damage towards the roaches. Roaches is an armored unit, so the Immortal should be doing like 50 damage to one of those. Yeah, look, 55, because the level 1 upgrades is finished from Hawk, and Hawk is going to be getting a Twilight Council, so we're going to see some Side Storms coming in, or he's going to go for the Dark Templars, which is pretty common to go Dark DTs in this game. And these roaches are going to be focusing down on the rocks, and not really a lot happening from IdrA, but IdRA's playing really good right now. He got a Hydralisk then, he's gonna getting Hydras on the way, which is always good to get Hydras, and Overlord's gonna be flying, Observers and Overlords too, gonna be flying everywhere. Hug's gonna know exactly there's a hatchery over here from IdrA, and he really needs to start getting some more units, and this Overlord's gonna be chilling behind the mineral line, knowing exactly how many probes are mining right there. And Hawk is going to be pushing out again, but this time he has Immortals, dude. Immortals are going to be banging really hard on those roaches. They're going to be blasting those things so hard, those roaches probably going to die pretty soon, but there is a good army of roaches, and Hydralisks are in the back. So it's going to be really hard for Hawk to, he needs to really use those force fields behind Hydralisk and Roaches, trying to separate them as much as he can, because Hydras do pretty good damage, and Hawk actually is going to be going back because he knows that his opponent has Hydralisk now on the field and Roaches, so he's not going to try to waste as many units as he can. Look at this Hydralisk army is going to be getting bigger and bigger every time, and more Overlords flying everywhere. These dudes are like just floating around the map, pooping creep for no freaking reason, just pooping. Probably gonna trying to force Hawk not to expand, like won't let him expand. But this is a pretty good army from Hawk right now. 3 Immortals, bunch of Zealots, and a charge is being researched right now from Hawk. And as soon as the charge finishes, the Zealots are going to be so much more effective against the Roaches. But there's going to be a big battle going down right over here. The Hydralisks are everywhere. The force fields needs to be going down, trying to separate Hydralisks from the Roaches. But no, Hawk is going to try to drop back because there's way too many Hydralisks to deal with, and the Roaches Stalkers are in the back. But dude, this army from IdrA is way too big to deal for the Hawk, and he's going to try to force Hawk go back. But Hawk really needs to start reinforcing, building some more units, or using the Zealot charge. And the Zealot charge is being used right now by Hawk, but still there's way too many Hydralisks in the back, and Roaches are absorbing the most of the damage from those Zealots. And look at this, man. IdrA's being baller right now, going into the Hawk's base, trying to harass him as much as he can, and I think Hawk's gonna be GG'ing because there is way too many units from IdrA, and IdrA did a great job, and Hawk's gonna be GG'ing.